I stood at the altar, in my dream dress, heart pounding, not from joy, but from heartbreak. My parents weren't there. My maid of honor had vanished. And my sister, she was throwing a party across town, on my wedding day. What no one knew, not even me, was that she had carefully planned it all. But karma moves fast. And by the time the truth came out, it was too late to fix what she'd destroyed. Hey lovelies, welcome back to Tales by Lope, where we share real stories of betrayal, redemption, and finding strength when it feels like the world turns its back on you. Today's story is about love, family, and the kind of betrayal that cuts deeper than any heartbreak. What would you do if your own sister stole your wedding day, and then made sure your entire family turned against you? This is the story of how one woman found the courage to walk down the aisle alone, and what happened when the truth about her sister's lies finally exploded. Tell me in the comments, where are you watching from? And if you've ever felt unseen by your own family, hit that like button so we know we're not alone. Grab your tissues, hit that subscribe button, and let's get into it. My name is Danielle Porter, and I'm 30 years old. I stood in an ivory satin dress, smiling for photos as my husband Malik and I sliced into a towering wedding cake. The room echoed with laughter, camera flashes, and champagne toasts. But inside, I felt a cold emptiness. Not a single member of my family was there. No familiar faces from childhood. No comforting hug from mom or dad. Just Malik's warm-hearted relatives and our college friends trying their best to fill the silence left behind by my absence of kin. As I cut into the frosting, my phone buzzed in the folds of my dress. It was a message from my mother. We need to talk. Now. And beneath it, 41 missed calls. My heart jumped. Fear and confusion twisted in my chest. Before I can explain what brought us here, you need to know how this all began. I grew up in a suburban town in Georgia, Claiborne, just outside Atlanta. We lived in a 2-story house with blue shutters and a picket fence. From the outside, we looked like any ordinary black middle-class family. Church on Sundays, barbecues in the summer, matching holiday pajamas for those cringy Christmas photos. But inside our home, something felt off. Like I had been born into the wrong family. My parents, Ronald and Lovin Porter, adored my younger sister, Brielle, with an intensity that felt like sunlight. I was always in her shadow. Brielle, 3 years younger, had honey-colored curls and dimples that made strangers gush. She sang in the youth choir, danced in recitals, and had a smile that could charm snakes. I didn't resent her. I just wondered why I was invisible. I was the academic one, obsessed with puzzles, equations, and science projects. My teachers praised me. My report card sparkled. But none of it seemed to matter at home. I'll never forget the day I got accepted into a selective engineering summer program. I was thrilled, bouncing into the kitchen waving the acceptance letter like a flag. My mother looked up from adjusting Brielle's dance costume and offered a distracted, "That's nice, sweetie. Just leave it on the counter for your dad." That same week, Brielle won second place in a local talent competition. We went out to dinner, toasted with sparkling cider, and my parents proudly introduced her as our superstar to the waiter. That was the rhythm of my childhood. I built a resume, she built memories. By the time I turned 18, I had accepted my role, present, but not prioritized. I stopped expecting applause and built my own community at college. I chose a small HBCU in North Carolina where I majored in biomedical engineering. It was there that I met my best friend, Talia Morgan, during freshman orientation. Talia was everything my family wasn't: present, supportive, emotionally available. She was studying social work, had a natural gift for reading people, and became the sister I'd never had in Brielle. When I graduated with high honors, my parents promised they'd attend. I reserved seats, sent out invitations, even mailed a printed program. The morning of my graduation, I got a text from my mom. "Sorry, Brielle got a last-minute call back in Miami. We're driving her down now. Take lots of pics. Love you." Only Talia showed up. I cried in her arms in the parking lot after the ceremony. She said, "You don't need their spotlight, Danielle. You make your own light." After college, Talia and I moved to Baltimore and shared an apartment for 3 years. She watched me struggle through every ignored birthday call and maybe next time family holiday invite. She witnessed my pain when my own mother forgot to send a birthday card, but posted a 2-paragraph caption on Facebook for Brielle's pet hamster's adoption anniversary. Then, one night at a friend's rooftop party, I met Malik Patterson. He was thoughtful and intentional, a software developer who listened more than he spoke. On our third date, I told him everything, my upbringing, the favoritism, the hollow phone calls. He didn't flinch. He didn't pity me. He just reached across the table, took my hand, and said, "That's not love, Danielle. That's hierarchy. And you deserve more than a seat at someone's table. You deserve your own table." No one had ever said anything like that to me before. With Malik's encouragement, I started therapy. I began to understand the term emotional neglect, how it creeps in subtly, not through what's said, but what's not. The missed moments, the disregard, the silence. My therapist, Dr. Howard, taught me radical acceptance, that you can't control who people are, but you can control the space they occupy in your heart. Slowly, I stopped bending over backward for people who didn't show up for me. I stopped inviting pain in the hope that one day, it might show up dressed as love. Malik's family was a revelation. His mom, Tanya, sent me care packages when I had the flu. His dad, Clarence, sent me TED Talks on medical tech breakthroughs. His sister, Maya, once told me over brunch, "I always wanted a big sister. Now I have one." On our second visit to their family home in Durham, Tanya hugged me tight and whispered, "You belong here, baby." And we show up for our people. I cried in her guest bathroom for 20 minutes straight. Eventually, Malik proposed. It was quiet, just us, on a boardwalk at sunset. He pulled out a ring and said, "This time, it's you who gets celebrated." And for the first time in my life, I believed it. But nothing could have prepared me for the storm that came next, when my wedding collided with Brielle's engagement party. And what happened next would change everything I thought I knew about loyalty, love, and what it really means to be family. The kind that tells you, you are loved, but only when it's convenient. Malik and I set our wedding for a Sunday in early May. We wanted something simple but elegant, a small ceremony in a charming historic house-turned event space right in Baltimore's Mount Vernon district. We kept the guest list intimate, around 60 people. Just close friends and the family members we thought would show up for us. That included my parents. That included Brielle. Despite our rocky past, a part of me still hoped, maybe foolishly, that my wedding would be the bridge. That they'd finally choose me. We sent out invitations 4 months in advance. Talia helped me seal them, triple-checking the addresses. My parents received theirs. So did Brielle. Weeks passed. No RSVP. No calls. I finally called my mom to follow up. "Hey, did you get the invitation?" I asked, keeping my voice light. "The venue needs a final head count soon." "Oh, yes," she replied. "We got it. Your dad and I have been meaning to call. We'll try to make it, but you know how things get." "It's my wedding," I said, trying not to sound wounded. "I'd really love for all of you to be there." "Of course, baby. We'll do our best." From then on, every call was a dance around the topic. They promised to come, but never asked about the venue, my dress, the menu, or the seating chart. When I asked my dad about doing the traditional father-daughter walk down the aisle, he mumbled something about checking with the office. Meanwhile, Talia became the true definition of maid of honor. She threw me a beautiful bridal shower, helped me pick out the perfect dress, a sleek A-line gown with soft lace, and created color-coded spreadsheets to help me stay sane. "You know," she said one evening while organizing my wedding favors, "if your family doesn't show, I'll be there. I'll stand with you through the whole thing. They can miss this, but I won't." Malik's family stepped up in incredible ways. Tanya offered to help with seating charts. Clarence insisted on covering the cost of the floral arrangements, even though we'd saved enough to cover everything ourselves. Maya threw me a second bridal shower, one filled with Malik's extended relatives, cousins, aunties, uncles, all treating me like one of their own. Still, I couldn't shake the feeling that something wasn't right. I'd call my mom, she'd be distracted. Brielle never responded to my texts. Not even a "can't wait," or "let me know if you need help." Then, 2 weeks before the wedding, I opened Instagram during my lunch break, and my world tilted. There she was, Brielle, smiling like a woman on a magazine cover, her hand extended to show off a dazzling diamond ring. The caption, he asked. I said yes. Ring counting down to the engagement bash of the year. The comments were worse. My mom had written, so proud of my baby girl. Can't wait to celebrate this weekend. This weekend. My wedding was this weekend. I called my mom immediately. She answered sounding bubbly. Hey, sweetie. Brielle's engaged. I asked, my voice shaking. Oh, you saw the post? Yes. So what's this celebration happening on Saturday? There was a pause. She's having a little engagement gathering. Just family and close friends. I was stunned. Mom, that's my wedding day. A beat. Then, oh, I thought your wedding was next week. My blood ran cold. You RSVP'd weeks ago. You knew the date. Well, Harper's event was already planned, and everyone's committed. Is there any chance you and Malik can move your ceremony to a different date? I was speechless. My heart was pounding in my ears. Move our entire wedding. I said, barely holding it together. Vendors are booked. Guests are flying in. Contracts are signed. You want me to move everything because Brielle decided to get engaged and throw a party the same day. She's been dreaming about this, Danielle, my mom said. This moment means so much to her. I couldn't believe what I was hearing. It was déjà vu, every childhood memory of being put second replaying in real time. I ended the call and rang Talia, who responded with a fury I was too heartbroken to muster. This is sick, she said. They are picking an engagement party, not even a wedding, over your actual wedding? Don't change a thing. You move forward. If they don't come, that's on them. Malik was no less outraged. When I told him, he held me close and whispered, this is your day, babe, and we're going to make it beautiful, no matter what. I tried to believe him, but that familiar ache was back, deep and hollow. The week of the wedding arrived like a freight train. The rehearsal was scheduled for Saturday at 5 p.m. The venue was perfect. Sunlight flooding in through floor-to-ceiling windows, polished hardwood floors gleaming beneath fresh floral arrangements. But the space felt hollow. As Malik and I walked in hand, I scanned the room hoping to see at least one familiar face from my family. None came. The coordinator approached me with a gentle smile. Your side hasn't arrived yet. Do you want to wait a bit? I swallowed the lump in my throat and forced a smile. They are probably running late. It was a lie. I knew they weren't coming. Talia, still my ride or die, showed up early. She helped organize the bridal party, ran through the processional with enthusiasm, and stood by me with the loyalty of 10 blood relatives. At 5:30, with still no sign of my parents or Brielle, we began the rehearsal. Malik's 12-year-old cousin took his ring-bearer duties way too seriously, which made everyone laugh. His aunt snapped pictures and gushed over my dress rehearsal look. His mom Tanya wrapped me in a hug and whispered, we got you, baby. It should have felt perfect. But the truth sat like a weight in my chest. They chose her. Again. After rehearsal, we walked to a nearby Italian restaurant where Malik's family had reserved a private room. Candles flickered across white tablecloths. Name cards lined the table, including seats for my parents that would remain painfully empty. I made it through appetizers before slipping into the restroom. I leaned over the sink and whispered to my reflection, don't let this ruin you. Not tonight. When I returned, Tanya had discreetly removed the name cards of my parents and rearranged the seating. Didn't want empty chairs messing with your peace, she said with a wink. I wanted to cry. Not out of sadness, but gratitude. That night, back at the hotel, Malik kissed me goodnight and left to stay with his best man. This time tomorrow, I'll be your husband, he said. And nothing else will matter. Once alone, I called my father one last time. Maybe, just maybe, he'd still show up. He picked up on the third ring. Hey, Dad, I just wanted to check if you're still planning to walk me down the aisle tomorrow. A pause. I'm sorry, Danielle. Your mother needs help with Brielle's party. There's still so much to do. I closed my eyes. More important than my wedding. His sigh was heavy. It's not that simple. It is, I said, tears stinging the corners of my eyes. You chose her. Again. I hope you have a nice wedding, he replied stiffly, and then he hung up. I sat there, phone in hand, numb. There weren't even tears left. Just silence. Later that night, I got a text from Talia. Just checking in. How's my beautiful bride doing? I replied, hanging in there. Can't wait to see you in the morning. Her response came quickly. About that, I might be a little late. Something came up, family emergency. But I'll be there before the ceremony. Promise. I frowned. Talia had never been vague. Ever. I texted back. Everything okay? Do you need help with anything? All good. Don't worry. Just get some sleep. Big day tomorrow. Something about it didn't sit right. But I was too emotionally drained to dig. I tried to distract myself with social media. But the universe wasn't done gut-punching me yet. Brielle had posted another photo, this time in a glittery cocktail dress, posing in a boutique mirror. The caption, final fitting for tomorrow's big celebration. So excited to party with everyone who matters. What? I zoomed in on the location tag, Belle's Boutique. The same boutique Talia mentioned needing to visit earlier that week. No. No way. With trembling hands, I clicked the likes. There it was. Talia's username. Weiss. She had commented, you look amazing. Can't wait to see you tomorrow. My stomach dropped. I went to Talia's profile. She had deleted a story recently, but the timestamp still showed. Posted 1 hour ago. My heart sank into my heels. Talia, my maid of honor, the woman who swore to stand by me, was going to Brielle's party instead. I called her. Straight to voicemail. I texted. I saw the post. Are you going to Brielle's party instead of my wedding? A full minute passed. Then the typing dots. Then nothing. Then again. Then nothing. Finally, the message came. I'm so sorry. Brielle reached out. Said it would mean a lot to have me there. I thought maybe I could make both, but the timing won't work. I should have told you sooner. I feel terrible. I stayed at the screen, my mind blank. Talia was gone too. I turned my phone off, curled up in my hotel bed, and let the ugly sobs rip from my chest. Everyone who was supposed to love me had chosen Brielle. Even on my wedding day. I must have cried myself to sleep, because the next thing I remember is my phone ringing as sunlight poured through the curtains. Groggy and red-eyed, I answered without checking the ID. Danielle. It's Erica. I'm downstairs with coffee and bagels. Can I come up? Erica. My old college roommate. We hadn't talked much lately. I had invited her to the wedding out of nostalgia, not expecting much. I sniffled. Yeah. Room 412. A few minutes later, a knock. I opened the door, and there she stood, holding coffee, pastries, and a warm smile that didn't ask questions. One look at my face and she knew. Whoa! What happened? I collapsed into her arms and cried again, this time not alone. Erica listened to everything. My parents. Brielle. Talia. The empty aisle. The betrayal. When I finished, she looked me straight in the eye. Your family and Talia. Trash. She didn't flinch. But I'm here. And if you'll let me, I'd be honored to step in as your maid of honor today. I blinked. You would do that? Of course. Let's get your makeup done. Let's get you married. And let's make sure today is about love, not people who don't know how to give it. For the first time in days, I smiled. Erica jumped into action like she'd been preparing for this moment her entire life. She called the hair and makeup team to confirm their arrival, set out the pastries, and laid out the dress. She even cracked jokes about our college dorm disasters to make me laugh. By the time the stylist arrived, my tear-swollen eyes were nearly hidden behind flawless makeup, and my curls were pinned into a soft, regal updo. I looked at myself in the mirror and whispered, almost perfect. Almost, but not quite. There was no mother to help adjust my veil. No father waiting to walk me down the aisle. The grief still clung to the edges of my joy like a shadow I couldn't shake. You look stunning, Erica said, smoothing the fabric of my gown. Malik is gonna fall out when he sees you. I smiled, but it didn't reach my eyes. I just wish. I know, she said softly. But today is still your day. Look forward, not back. Focus on what you're walking toward, not what you're leaving behind. A knock interrupted us. Erica opened the door to find Malik's father, Clarence, in a sharp charcoal tuxedo, looking both proud and nervous. I hope I'm not intruding, he said, glancing at me. Not at all, I replied, standing in surprise. Malik mentioned your dad might not be here. I just wanted to offer. If you'd be okay with it, I'd be honored to walk you down the aisle. Tay stung my freshly done lashes. I nodded, too emotional to speak. The honor's mine, baby girl, Clarence said gently. You're part of our family. This just makes it official. The ceremony venue was glowing. Literally, the golden light from the afternoon sun poured through the windows like a blessing. Guests were arriving, Malik's cousins, our college friends, his co-workers, even Erica's mother who flew in that morning just to support me. As the coordinator gave the 5-minute warning, I handed my phone to Erica. Hold this for me. I don't want any distractions today. You got it, she said. I even put it on Do Not Disturb. Ain't nobody messing with your joy today. Clarence stood beside me as the music began. You ready? He asked. I nodded. Barely. We stepped into the aisle. I expected silence. Pity. Whispers about my missing family. But what I got was applause. Smiles. Love. People weren't looking at what I didn't have. They were celebrating what I did. And then I saw him, Malik, standing at the altar in his cream-colored suit, eyes locked on mine like I was the only thing in the room that mattered. My knees nearly buckled, but I kept walking. Toward him. Toward safety. Toward real love. The ceremony was brief but unforgettable. We had written our own vows. When Malik began his, everyone leaned in. Danielle, he said, I promise to never make you question your worth. I promise to show up, not just when it's easy, but especially when it's hard. I vow to be your peace, your partner, your protector, and your home. We're building a family where love is never earned, it's given freely. You're not just my wife. You're my anchor, and you always will be. I wept openly, and for once, it wasn't from pain, but joy. The reception flowed right after. The hall was decorated with warm lighting, white and gold linens, and centerpieces made of cream roses and baby's breath. We danced to At Last by Etta James, our first dance as husband and wife. I was wrapped in Malik's arms, surrounded by love, laughter, and people who chose to be there. During the father-daughter dance, Clarence stepped up and pulled me into a gentle sway. Thank you, I whispered. For what? He asked. For showing up. He smiled. That's what family does. We cut into the 3-tiered wedding cake as cameras flashed. Just as we sliced into the second layer, I felt my phone vibrate. Erica had returned it to me earlier during cocktail hour in case of any emergencies. I discreetly checked the screen. It was my mother. We need to talk. It's urgent. 40 missed calls. From her. From my father. From Brielle. All in the last hour. My chest tightened. Malik noticed immediately. What's wrong? I showed him the screen. His jaw clenched. They had all day to reach you, he said. Don't let them hijack this moment. Part of me wanted to ignore it. But a deeper part, the little girl inside still hoping her family cared, whispered, what if something's wrong? I just need 5 minutes, I said quietly. Malik nodded. I'll be right here when you get back. I stepped outside into the garden, sat on a bench beneath the string lights, and called my mother. She answered immediately. Her voice was frantic. Danielle, thank God. We've been trying to reach you all day. I was getting married, I said flatly. What's going on? She hesitated, then blurted out. It's Brielle. The engagement's off. He left her. In the middle of the party. I blinked. Wait, what? Patrick said he couldn't go through with it. He found out what she did. What she did to me. My mother exhaled shakily. Brielle lied to us. About everything. My heart slammed into my ribs. She said you changed the wedding date without telling us. She showed us fake texts saying you didn't want us there. She even deleted your real messages. She intercepted the invitations. She made us believe You pushed us away. I couldn't breathe. She told us you were having a private wedding just with Malik's family. She said you didn't want anything to do with us anymore. My voice cracked. Why would you believe that? We were wrong, she whispered. We were so wrong. Patrick overheard her bragging about finally stealing the spotlight, and when he pressed her, she confessed. It all unraveled. My mind reeled. All the missed calls, the silence, the absence, all orchestrated by my own sister. There's more, she added. She told Talia that you dropped her as maid of honor, showed her fake messages, made it seem like you didn't want her around anymore, that you had someone else closer. Talia didn't want to embarrass herself, so she accepted it. My throat was dry. All of this because Brielle wanted to be center stage. Again. She left after Patrick ended it, my mother said. We don't know where she is now. But Danielle, we are so sorry. So ashamed. We failed you. All this time, we thought you shut us out. But it was her. I closed my eyes. My entire body trembled. Not from sadness. From sheer exhaustion. I can't do this right now, I said. Of course. My father chimed in. I hadn't even realized he was on speaker. We just needed you to know the truth. Is there any chance we can see you tonight? I hesitated. I'll text you the hotel address. We'll be back there by 11. I ended the call and sat still, heart pounding, hands clenched in my lap. The entire story had flipped upside down in 5 minutes. Malik walked outside and found me. What happened? I told him everything. His face went from stunned to furious to heartbroken. She sabotaged everything. And your parents let her. I nodded. They want to meet tonight. He took my hands. Then we faced them together. At 11:15 p.m., Malik and I waited in the lobby of our hotel, both changed out of our wedding clothes, both mentally bracing for what was to come. My parents arrived first. They looked exhausted. My mother's makeup was smudged. My father had dark circles under his eyes. Neither of them looked like the people who had raised me, but maybe that was the point. They were no longer the parents I thought I knew. They spotted me and rushed forward. My mom opened her arms for a hug. I stepped back. Let's talk somewhere private, Malik said, pointing to a quiet lounge just off the lobby. The hotel staff had kindly left it unlocked. We sat in stiff silence for a moment. Then my father cleared his throat. Danielle, we don't expect forgiveness. What we did, believing Brielle, missing your wedding, it's inexcusable. But we needed to tell you the truth. We are deeply sorry. My voice was tight. Sorry doesn't change the fact that I walked down the aisle with no family on my side. Tears filled my mother's eyes. I know we failed you, not just today, but for years. I looked at them both, the question burning in my throat. Why was it so easy to believe that I would exclude you? They didn't answer right away. My father finally said, because we knew we hadn't earned a place. We knew how many times we overlooked you. How many milestones we missed. When Brielle said you didn't want us there, part of us believed we deserved that. And instead of fighting for a relationship with me, I said, you just let it go. My mother sobbed. We were cowards. I asked the next question calmly. Where's Brielle? We don't know, my father said. She left after the party blew up. Hasn't answered our calls. She needs help, I said. Serious help. What she did goes far beyond jealousy. We agree, he nodded solemnly. We'll get her therapy. Whatever it takes. Malik sat quietly beside me, letting me lead. I looked back at my parents, really looked at them, and saw something I hadn't seen before. Not malice. Not neglect. Just broken people who didn't know how to repair what they'd spent years silently tearing apart. I'm not ready to forgive, I said. I might never forget. But I'm open to building something new, if you are. Both of them nodded, tears streaming down their faces. That means therapy, I continued. For all of us. Real conversations. Real accountability. And boundaries. Whatever it takes, my mother whispered. We just want the chance to try again. We talked for another hour. It wasn't magical. No hugs. No movie ending. Just raw truth and a cautious willingness to begin again. When Malik and I finally returned to our room, he asked, "Are you okay?" I thought about it. "Not yet," I said. "But I will be." 6 months later, our marriage was strong. We'd honeymooned in Greece, just the two of us, finally free from the cloud of family drama. We swam in turquoise waters, explored ruins, and relearned how to laugh without pain trailing behind it. My parents, true to their word, started therapy. They asked me to join for family sessions, and I agreed, with caution. We met every Thursday evening with Dr. Jameson, a family therapist who specialized in estrangement. She didn't let anyone off easy. And slowly, we made progress. Brielle resurfaced after 3 days. She called my parents from a motel an hour outside the city. They brought her home, enrolled her in therapy, and put firm boundaries in place. It took 2 months before I agreed to see her. We met at a quiet cafe. She looked small, fragile, like her armor had cracked. "I don't even know where to begin," she said softly. "I'm sorry feels too small for what I did." "Then don't start with sorry," I said. "Start with why." She explained everything. The pressure to be perfect. The comparisons I never saw. The loneliness behind the spotlight. How she thought destroying my moment would somehow make her feel whole. "I didn't want to see you happy without needing any of us," she said, eyes red. "I've spent my whole life performing for love. You lived your truth. And I hated that. I wanted it. I won't sugarcoat it," I said. "What you did was unforgivable." "I'm not asking for forgiveness," she replied. "I'm just trying to make sure I never become that person again." We didn't reconcile that day. But we opened the door. My relationship with my parents grew slowly. This time, they showed up. My mom called, not to talk about Brielle, but to ask about me. My dad read articles related to my field and asked real questions. They attended a small engineering award ceremony I was honored at and brought flowers. It wasn't perfect, but it was real. Talia, on the other hand, was harder to face. She emailed, texted, sent flowers, but I stayed silent for weeks. Eventually, I agreed to a call. "I should have trusted you," she said, her voice shaking. "I should have called, asked questions. I let Brielle plant seeds of doubt in soil that should have been solid." "You didn't just miss my wedding," I said. "You were part of the betrayal. And you lied about it." "I know," she whispered. "But I'll earn my way back, if you let me." Trust is harder to rebuild than to build from scratch. We started small, monthly coffee dates, casual texts, no pressure. I'm not sure if we'll ever get back to what we had, but we're trying. Erica, though, she became a permanent fixture in my life. The woman who showed up when no one else did. She now comes over for Sunday brunches, double dates, and girls' nights. She didn't just save my wedding, she reminded me what real friendship looks like. On our first anniversary, Malik and I hosted a small dinner at our apartment. Nothing fancy. Just friends, his family, and a few people who'd proven their loyalty. My parents showed up with a handmade photo album of my childhood. Brielle came too, quiet but respectful. That night, after dinner, Malik stood and made an announcement. "We have some news," he said, beaming. "Danielle and I are expecting. Baby due in July." The room exploded with cheers. My mother cried. My father hugged me. Even Brielle whispered, "You're gonna be an amazing mom." Later that night, Malik and I were cleaning up when he asked, "So, are you happy now? With how things are?" I thought for a long moment. "I'm not chasing approval anymore," I said. "I'm creating peace. That's enough." I placed a hand over my belly and smiled. Our child will never feel invisible. They'll never wonder if they are enough. We're breaking the cycle. Have you ever had someone you love betray you in a moment that was supposed to be yours? Drop your experience in the comments. We're building a space where real stories matter and healing begins through honesty. Like this video if you've ever had to choose peace over people. Subscribe to Tales by Laura and turn on notifications so you never miss another powerful story that hits home. Share this video with someone who needs to be reminded that family isn't always blood, it's who shows up. Thank you for watching this journey of pain, betrayal, and healing. Remember, your worth isn't defined by who walked away, but by how you rose anyway. Whether you've been overlooked, lied to, or left behind, don't let their choices become your story's ending. You are enough. You are loved. And your story, just like Danielle's, is far from over. Until next time, stay strong, stay soft, and keep telling your truth. This is Tales by Laura, where every scar has a story worth telling.